Hey guys, another episode here, the old truck stories. This one's kind of special because this is my truck. This is not inventory. This doesn't belong to the shop. This is my truck. So many of you guys don't know, maybe you do. I grew up in a Travellall. So what started my love for these trucks was my grandfather bought a brand new 1971 Travellall half-ton, two-wheel drive. And it had wood paneling on the side. It was a 71, had the honeycomb grill, green vinyl interior with the flip down, had bucket seats with a flip down console, which I actually have for this truck that I just got recovered. It didn't have the barn doors. It had the tailgate with the power window. But as a kid, we had the car top boat that went up on top, and you had the two wheels that went on the back of the boat, and you slide the boat off and you roll it over, and then you know, my job was to help Grandpa pick it up and roll it down the lake, and you pull the wheels off and put it in the lake. And then you got your little 15 horse Johnson, your Evinrude motor in the back, and you throw it over your shoulder and you hike it down the freaking trail down to the lake, and you put it down there, and my grandpa would put it on and we'd go fishing. Well, anyway, we had a little 21-foot Shasta camp trailer, a little tandem axle camp trailer. We pulled that behind the Travellall. So my whole childhood was either all the way in the back with the dog or right up front in the middle in the jump seat, running from our house in the valley over the mountains to go camping, fishing, hiking, roasting marshmallows, going out in Grandpa's boat and stuff like that. So as a little kid to now, I still have a really hard heart feeling for Travellall. And this particular one has a great story. The name of this Travellall, we call her Daisy, kind of by the color. This is a 1 year only color. It's a 73, called Sedona Yellow. And this is an original paint, original interior. I'm the third owner. I'm the third owner of this truck. And we live here in Bend, Oregon. This truck was sold new in Pendleton, Oregon, which is about 150 miles east of here. And it was sold new at the Pendleton Grain Growers Association, which is where they had an international dealership. It was a grain building, it was a farm and ranch store, it was an International Harvester dealer. You could buy a tractor, you could buy a lawnmower, you could buy everything. And they had everything. So this was sold new there. The farmer that bought it had several ranch hands and stuff, and they bought this because it's a 3/4 ton, which is a rarity in a Travellall. 4-wheel drive, has the factory PTO winch bumper on the front, which we'll get to that. But the first week that they had this truck, and I'm going to go full circle with this story because there's a reason I know this story, and it's not because I know the original owner. So the first week they had this truck, the farmer put his guys in it, and they like go out and start fencing and T-poling and doing all the stuff for cattle or whatever. Guy jumped in it and come around here. Guy jumped in it, backed up, bam, right there, just right into the fence post. Dented the crap out of it and everything like that. Smashed the bumper. Truck's a week old, literally week old. So when I got this truck, this was still here. So that, you know, they mudded it, they painted it, they fixed it, they threw a handle on it from the wrecking yard or whatever, and they took the bumper off. And they told the farmer that they dented the bumper, but they took the bumper off and they built this huge steel bumper on the back, which I took off, but big old bumper, and that was to protect in the future. Well, the farmer came back and asked him what had happened to the bumper, why they changed the bumper. And he's like, oh, the factory bumper's over there. So-and-so bumped into a fence post, so we built this new one. And the farmer's like, oh, wow, that looks good. That's nice. They had painted this and mudded this and stuff like that. He didn't even notice that. Well, you know, 40 years later, the mud's fallen off, it's shaken off, whatever. It's kind of part of the character. All right. So I told you that story to fast forward to the story of how I know this story. I know this sounds silly, and that's a lot of the same word. My friend Scott, who I got this truck from, he bought it from the rancher, the original rancher. He bought it back in the 90s, actually 1990. And he bought it back out of the old black and white books. You guys remember, if you're a car guy, Auto Trader. Okay, I still have the ad from when he bought this, from the Auto Trader ad. It's really cool. So he bought this truck, and he has an auto repair business over in the valley. And him and his dad have had it for 30 years. So this old guy comes in and he says, hey, is that your yellow Travellall out there, or is that, you know, customers or whatever? And Scott's like, no, that's my Travellall. And he looks him right in the eye and he's like, I'm going to tell you how I got the dent in the back. Scott's like, what? He goes, I know this truck. Scott's like, are you sure? He's like, dead to rights. I know it's the same truck. And so he proceeds to tell him the story that I just told you guys about the dent in this truck. And Scott's just like mind blown. Like, how does this guy, he goes, yeah, I worked on that ranch in Pendleton. And he's like, I live over here now. I moved over here to be with my grandkids, and I drive by here all the time. I kept looking at that Travellall, and he's like, I know that truck. He's like, I figured I better stop by and tell you the story in case you didn't know. And Scott had owned the truck for almost 20 years, never knew why there was a dent in the back and why it had a different handle on it. Never knew the story. Just thought it was, you know, random. So he passed that on to me, which obviously is super cool. I keep it. And I do want to fix this, but I have a hard time fixing it because the story is so good. But it's getting to the point where, like, I have to do something. So Eric at Retro Rides, we talked about it a couple times, and I think what we're going to do is open this door up and, you know, basically from this belt line down, strip this whole thing, paint it back to the factory color, and then, you know, do the kind of the weathering and patina and kind of try and, I hate fake patina. Actually, I hate the word patina in general, but I hate fake patina. But at the same time, I want to fix this, but I want it to look like the rest of the truck, so you can't make it look new. And then we've got one spot on the door over there that's got primer on it that I need to fix. So I don't know, we'll see. The story of it though is just super cool. Like, the fact that that guy just walked up one day after 20 years of Scott owning this thing and said, hey, you want to know how that dent got in the truck? And he's just like blown away, you know. Stuff like that makes me happy. This truck was factory front and rear bench seats. I actually had bucket seats for it, and I went to my upholstery guy and had them recovered with all the factory original material so it'll match. So these actually are going in with the center console and everything else. So that's going to be cool. Again, it didn't come with those, but that's what I remember when I was a kid. So the barn doors, these are actually really cool. These are really rare too. Most of these have a tailgate with a power window. So this has barn doors. I like the barn doors better just because, you know, like you open it and you're like, ah, yeah. Not everybody's taste. It's mine. So anyway, pretty cool. Shuts like they're supposed to because they're heavy as heck. Watch my language. So this truck, as we said, this is a 1210, which means it's a 3/4 ton. They're 8 lug. This truck has no lift kit, no aftermarket anything. This is stock suspension, stock height. These tires, these are the BFGs we run on everything. They're the tall skinnies. Everybody does ask what size, so they're 255, 85, 16. That's a factory 16-inch steel wheel. What that gives you is about 33.8-inch tall tire, but they're only about 9.5 or 10 inches wide. Falcon makes these tires, BFG makes them, and I think Cooper Discovery. I think there's 3 companies that make this. It's an odd size, like it's an old truck size. Like, I'm glad that there's still companies that do make it because we love them, but my guess is they won't last forever like anything else. You know, everybody's got 17s and 18s and 20s and dubs and blah, whatever. There's not enough tire on there for me on the sidewall if you put a 20-inch wheel. Like, I've seen guys put modern wheels and stuff in it. It just doesn't look right to me. Again, my opinion, whatever. You know, that's my deal. This truck is a big block 392. It does have power steering. It does have power brakes. It does have AC. It's all factory. It has both fuel tanks, the one in the front and the one in the back. It had the AM/FM radio originally. It has a Bluetooth radio now, but it did originally have that. And then the other rare thing that this has that not many of them do is this is a factory. It's a Ramsey winch, but this was a factory installed PTO winch and bumper. And what PTO is, for the guys that don't know, PTO is power takeoff. So this has a divorce transfer case, the NP205 gear drive transfer case, and we'll walk around here in a second. There's a lever, and you actually pull the lever to engage the winch. There's a drive line that goes to the winch. So the winch is driven by the engine and the transmission and the transfer case. It's not driven by electric. There's no wiring. So this winch literally will rip your arm in half if you're not careful, because it doesn't have there's no stop on it. So these are a little dangerous, but they are extremely powerful. We did get a new cable for it and rewound all the cable and stuff like that, put a new end on it. So it does work great. Fog lights work, headlights work. We did put the H4 headlights in. Another cool thing, this is the only truck I have that have this. A friend of mine who's a machinist, this is actually all billet aluminum, it's 3-piece. And this was to signify the corn binder. So he made me this emblem. And we might make more of these at some point, I don't know. They're extremely time consuming, but that's all billet CNC machined aluminum 3-piece. It's really cool. It's the only one I have. I don't know. There's a chance we'll make some someday, but the problem is they're super expensive because it's a lot of labor. So I have it on this because this is my truck. This truck is not for sale. It's never been for sale. It's not for sale. Don't ask. You know, I can't find another one. I know that because I do it every day. So I'm not being boastful or you know egotistical or nothing. But like this is mine, and this is the one that I drive with my kids and stuff like that. So I'll show you the PTO lever too. So if you look right there on the floor, you've got the 4-wheel drive shifter. This is the PTO lever right here. That's what you engage the winch with. So that's pretty cool. And you can see, I mean, it's definitely an original interior, original seats. They're kind of broke down. That's why I got the old man pad in here. No, I don't have an issue. It's just I like to sit up higher. So the back seat will stay. The front seat's going to get changed to the buckets in the console here pretty soon. So this would have been considered the deluxe interior because it has the vinyl door panels and the dressed out trim, if you will. It does have the vinyl floor, not carpet, which I do like. That means the guy that originally ordered this ordered it with the intention that it was going to be used because the vinyl floor was a lot easier to clean out. And you can see, just like them all, you know, the doors just shut the way they're supposed to. This door is the one I was talking about too. It's got a little primer. This was on here. This happened actually in Scott's parking lot. The guy I got it from years and years ago, and he had it fixed, but nobody could match the paint. So when we fix the back, Eric's gonna match that paint too. So you'll never know. Well, I mean, I'll know, but you know what I mean. You won't be able to tell by the outside. So anyway, this is Daisy. My 73 1210 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive Travellall, barn doors, factory PTO winch, big block automatic power steering, power brake, AC. She checks all the boxes for me, and it's original paint and it's original interior, and that's what I love. See you guys on the next one. Make sure you guys like, tag, share, and follow, and help us continue to tell the stories of these trucks.